Saren. I'm back with episode 5 of the podcast. And here is the blue silent guest. Hold on one second, please. And I will show you the guest. Hold on. Hey. Yes, I know the blue silent guest is just very tall. Stand still. Stop that. Anyway, the silent guest is just very tall, as you can see. So now, since this is episode 5 of Blast of Strangeness, and this podcast is actually being recorded in real time, and welcome to episode 5 of the podcast. So, anyway, so now, yes, episode 4, I ran into some technical difficulties, which I apologize for that, and that was not supposed to happen, but it did. But anyway, I worked that all out and figured out exactly what had went wrong. And so, yeah, I did straighten that out. And I still can't believe that actually had happened. So, like I said, back with episode 5 of the podcast. Hold on one second. So, now, like I had said, I also have had a lot of different things happen, like the time I was actually abducted by aliens, just like you saw the silent guest, who happens just to be very tall. Anyway, it's kind of hard to show the silent guests because they're so tall. So anyway, like I said at the time, I did actually have an alien encounter abduction when I was about 12 years old or so. It had happened in a 1970s mobile home trailer that I had lived in at the time. Anywho. Hi. So, what did end up happening with that was, at the time, I actually eventually did end up moving out of there. To answer your question, originally it was supposed to be Mondays, but there's been slight changes in the schedule lately, where sometimes it's done on Monday, sometimes it's done Sunday, and sometimes it's done on Friday. It just depends on when there's an opening in the schedule to film this. I hope that helps answer your question. So, anyway, that experience that did happen, if you watch some of my other videos, then you'll know exactly what I'm referring to and referencing. But yeah, that was just an experience that had happened to me a really long time ago. And it's just crazy to be talking about it now. And I just still can't believe it actually had happened when it did. Oh, okay. So now, does anyone have any questions about my silent guest or my alien encounter abduction experience story that actually did happen to me when I was 12 years old? Anyone have any questions on anything I just said? Anyone? Hang on one second. I'll be right back. Oh, hi again. And yes, I want to thank everyone who's actually watching this podcast right now. Thank you so much. I also want to thank my subscribers. But like I said, before you hit the subscribe button, please read the disclaimer up above. It should be on my YouTube somewhere, or either in the description or on the community settings area. It should be there somewhere. Hi. So now, like I had said, hey, there's my silent guest. About time you made your appearance a little better. Silent guest, do you have anything to say? Guess not. Yeah, you see, that's the thing with silent guests. I swear, sometimes it's like this one just literally just wandered in here of this filming location for the podcast, which sometimes I often wonder. So now, I mean, I understand, people may not believe in it about being abducted or having an alien encounter like that, but it does actually happen. And, hi. So anyway, like I said, I mean, I know not everybody believes in that. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm not saying you have to believe in it. You don't have to believe in it. Even if you're one of the people who don't believe it and then it does happen to you, then I would start believing it then. I mean, that's great if you already believe in it. That's fine too. So anyway. Now, about the alien encounter abduction story that actually took place years ago in a 1970s rental mobile home trailer that I lived at the time when I was a child. At a very young age, it had happened. So one night I was watching Jeopardy. It was a later airing because I had missed it earlier, unfortunately. And then all of a sudden, the funniest thing happened. So the day started out normal, like any other day. And then all of a sudden, later that night, I remember looking out the window. I happened to look up, and I saw this weird-looking blue light. And I thought to myself, okay, interesting. So it was staying still, and I was like, wow, I've never seen that blue light there before. Okay, odd. First I thought, maybe it was something new. And then, so I go back to watching TV. All of a sudden, next thing you know, I look out the window again, and I see that blue light still there, and it's staying completely perfectly still. So I say to myself, that's odd. It was staying still earlier, too. There's actually a nudity picture behind that cardboard, actually. And the person behind the picture is actually naked, so that's why it's covered up, so you cannot see it. So next thing you know, I hope that answers your question. So next thing you know, I'm watching TV that night, watching Jeopardy. It was a later airing. I can't actually show you that on YouTube because if I show you that, I could actually be banned permanently off YouTube. But I'll tell you where I got it from. I actually, if you want to know what it really is, it's actually a nudity photo of Trailer Trash Tammy, if you're wondering. I got it from a website called eatmytrash.com. For real. And anyway, but like I said, if I show it, I could get in a lot of trouble on YouTube, unfortunately. I mean, I would love to show it. I'm sure Tammy would love if I actually showed it. But unfortunately, I can't. So then, all of a sudden, next thing you know. So, like I said, I'm watching TV that night. All of a sudden, lo and behold, these two how would I say this? There were these two white shade of pale, like a very pale shade of white. There were these two aliens, had these like weird, like silver looking eyes, like chrome or metal, just staring at me. So, I go to try to make a run for it. Before I could make a run for it, the way I'm sitting in the living room, though, I had a blanket wrapped around me because it was wintertime and it was very cold out still. So I had a light on and the TV on. But like I said, before I could make a run for it, they dragged me off the couch, dragged me into the kitchen area where my kitchen table was at the time, near the back door. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, they literally, out of nowhere, they put this big blue stone deep into my big toe. So deep to the point where it literally hurt the next day horribly, getting it out the next morning. And then all of a sudden, they put me back in the living room on the couch with the blanket still wrapped around me. And, I go like that. And then I glanced by the door. They were gone. No, you didn't hurt my feelings any. Well, yes, this is actually real because this really did actually happen to me. And a lot of people acted like when it had happened that it really didn't happen to me. Yes, the story is alive. Anyway, so the next morning getting that thing out hurt. Oh, did it hurt? Oh, dear Lord. That thing hurt. And yes, my big toe did slightly recover from all that after. To get it out, my parents at the time actually had to use tweezers to get it out. Yes. No, it's not. It actually happened in the area that I used to live in. But eventually I moved out of there. That's okay. I mean, you can think that it's a lie if that's what you want to think. But coming to find out, that place that I was living at the time, that property was actually known to have weird things happen on it. But eventually, I did move out of there a couple of years later, and I ended up moving really far away. Well, just know that there's zero tolerance for you if you want to think that it's a lie. You can just disappear now off the podcast. Anyway, so then, all of a sudden, when that big blue stone came out of my foot, it was the same shade of blue as that light that I had saw in the sky the night before. I know, isn't that strange? I know, that's very strange, isn't it? Well, then again, the name of the podcast is actually called Blast of Strangeness. It's actually a real podcast. which I may want to add to, by the way. Now, does anyone have any questions? Anyone? Anybody? Does anyone have any questions about this? But anyway, like I had said, though, this did actually really happen to me at the time. But like I said, eventually, because of it, I did actually have to move very far away. And when I had moved far away, it actually ended up working out a lot better. Of course, I mean, I did move from time to time, but eventually I moved very far away. Hold on one second. I'll be right back. I'm still here, but hold on. Like I said, I mean, I also understand, there's people out there who, may not believe in it. I mean, they don't have to. That's fine. They can go ahead. They can think it's a lie. That's okay. But it really did happen to me. Okay, and I'm going to prove something right now. Okay, if you think that it was a lie, then why do I remember everything in detail of what actually had happened and what had occurred? Can you answer that? Yeah, that's what I thought. Imbecile. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. I don't care. Think what you want. Now, does anyone have any questions about anything about related to what this is about? And not stupid and ignorant questions either, or repulsive ones. Now, back to the podcast. So, now, anyway, podcast is actually about all kinds of strange things. Sometimes it's even about random things. It's always usually about something different all the time, or different episodes, or about different things. So anyway, so I'm hoping to see if anyone could actually prove that it really did happen. Oh, you're welcome. I actually like your picture there. That's quite interesting, actually. So, the funny thing is, I'm not actually making this up. Why would I do that? That would just be weird. So anyway, like I said, does anyone have any questions about the alien encounter abduction that actually had happened to me a long time ago? All right. So now moving on from that, let's get back to it about episode 1, 2, 3, and 4. How about that? So now, has anyone on here, or anyone had an educated mentor in your life, like whether it was your school days or whatever, who that person who was supposed to educate you did educate you, but was also just very horrible, like a bad teacher or something? Anyone? Guess not. Okay, that's fine. So now, does anyone, or has anyone ever had to go through that. And if you did, I'd love to hear your story about it. Also, just know that if you want to be on the podcast, you just have to look for my email, which should be somewhere on my YouTube, either in the description somewhere or in the community settings. But it is there someplace. I don't remember the exact location or the spot for that, but it is there. And the problem that we ran into with episode 4, which I'm going to just bring up quickly, it was because the air conditioner was running in the background, because during episode 4, the filming time for this, it was actually very hot in this spot location where this is actually being filmed for, to do this in the first place. And the mic kept picking it up. And last week's silent guest was kind of hard to see, but last week's guest is just a little something that I actually made. It's basically made to be filmed, where you can move it around if you need to. And it's also was made to look scary. So if you're like filming something like, let's say, a low budget independent horror film or something, you know, like some of the big stars do today, some of the big director, like some of the biggest names in the director movie industry today, you know, just to name a few specifics, you know, like John Carpenter, Wes Craven, Blumhouse, you know, kind of like that, if that makes sense. But that thing I made, it does actually have a name. It's actually called The Definitive Nightmare. I know, right? That's interesting. And for some reason, during episode 4, when the air conditioner was on, for some reason the mic actually had very horrible audio for some reason. And episode 1, 2, and 3, it did not do that at all. But I did go back and figure out what the problem was. Even though this is episode 5, it's still technically episode 4, kind of. But even though it does say episode 5, it's technically episode 4 and 5, if you're wondering. Only due to last week's technical difficulties, which was very unfortunate, and that does happen from time to time. And hold on one second. I'll be right back. Hold on one sec. I'll be right there. I'm still here. And anyway, so my silent so it's like my guests from episode 4, kind of, it's like they just walked in too, just like the guests for episode 5 here kind of just decided to literally just walk right in. Anyway, so then what I was wondering was, what is up with these silent guests and the silent guests just walking in? I don't know. That's strange, isn't it? Well, you know, that is the name of the podcast, Blast of Strangeness. But like I said, you know, if anyone is interested in being on the podcast, just send me an email and we'll go from there. And it won't cost you nothing or anything like that. I mean, if you would just honestly just take the time to email, we would love to have you on the podcast. It's not a big deal to have you on the podcast at all. If anyone is interested in that, please feel free to reach out through email. Thank you. So, now, there is another thing too. So, a lot of you may not know this, but a while back, I was actually scammed by a third-party seller on a marketplace. It was a Walmart app on their platform where third-party sellers are allowed to sell on there through the marketplace. And that whole thing was very horrible when that happened. Oh, I did end up getting my refund for the item, though, that's for sure. Although at first I wasn't going to get it. I literally had to jump through massive hoops just to get it. This third-party seller never sent the item. This third-party seller lied to Walmart and trying to say that they did when they never sent it. And not only that, they also lied to me, and they also lied to the company that was supposed to ship the item and deliver it to me. So yeah, the third-party seller was basically a liar who got banned off Walmart app/platform in the first place due to that. Walmart, however, had to file some paperwork due to that to have that seller banned, to have that third-party seller banned off there. So lesson learned, when you order an item from Walmart, make sure it says sold and shipped by Walmart. And that is how I can spot a scam from a mile away like that. Now, does anyone have any experiences about that or any stories about that they would like to share? If so, I would like to hear it. Anyone? Go ahead. It's okay. You can. Silent guest, do you have anything to say again? No, guess not. I could have sworn the silent guest was going to say something. But that's interesting. The silent guest really did not say anything. So anyway, I'll be right. Hold on. I'm still here. I'm still here. That was some good iced coffee. I'll tell you that much. So now, it's just really interesting how you can actually spot certain things and from far away and a mile away. And these third-party sellers, they need to stop scamming people. It's because, one, it's out of hand and it's getting ridiculous. And the sad part is they don't stop. They keep it up. They're getting smarter and smarter about scamming people. I could tell you that much. So therefore, I honestly think that it's time to put a stop to it. Oh, I'm good. You? So, I say we all try to figure out here a way to stop these scammers that are third-party sellers, the ones who like to scam the people. I'm not going to stop the ones that don't scam people, but I would like to stop the ones that do. Wouldn't all of you, too, like to help with that or join? Anyway, so now I'm telling you, I really think that these scammers have gotten smarter. But honestly, let's talk about that for a little bit. You would actually honestly be surprised on how they will scam you. No, I don't speak Spanish. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, that's not a language that I speak. I only speak English. I'm very sorry. Very, very sorry. I don't speak Spanish. So anyway, these scammers, what they will do is, whether they're a third-party seller or not, they will scam you in almost any way possible. For all you know, they could be from another country, like Nigeria or something. Yeah, that's a whole big thing too, with the scams that they do. Or they will try to tell you that there's some type of company where you need to log into a computer, you need to do this, you need to do that. You got to type in these specific codes, all this other crap. Or they'll try to tell you that they claim to be the IRS. That's another one, a tactic that they will use. They'll try to say that you owe them like $10,000. Oh, yeah. They will try anything like that. They just try that because they have nothing better to do, apparently. They must sit there and think it's funny. Yeah, well, you know what? It's going to be funny when it comes back to bite them in the ass, won't it? And then we'll see what's funny, won't we? But, honestly, if that was any of us, we'd be the ones in trouble. But no, not any of them, of course. But, that's another thing. Honestly, what else is new? And they don't stop. I've told you, they've gotten smarter and smarter. They'll try to scam you in any way possible. They'll even try to tell you that they're from Amazon half the time. But, honestly, that's the problem with a lot of scammers, though. I mean, obviously, they must not like one, they either don't like a job that they had, or apparently they must have nothing better to do but sit there and get paid to scam people. Interesting, isn't it? How that works. Yeah, I know. But I'm just telling you, honestly, this is what they will try to do. They'll even tell you that they're a health insurance company or something. Or they'll tell you that they're a bank or something, like a common bank. Like, say if you live in an area where you're say if you live around a corner from a bank, they will literally sit there and try to tell you that they're that specific bank when they're not. Oh yeah, they'll try to tell you, they'll even try to tell you things like that they're Bank of America. They'll try to tell you that they're Chase Bank. They'll try to tell you that they're Key Bank. Oh yeah, they'll try to tell you almost any of that. But that's what they will literally try to do. Just to scam. Oh, I know it. Well, I'll be ignoring that. Anyway. So anyway, honestly, like, I'm telling you, it's like these people have nothing better to do but sit there and scam other people. I know, isn't it horrible? And to think that we're literally all sitting here listening to me ramble on about this. So obviously, therefore, like, it's a problem. It's a problem, but yet nothing is being done about it. So I honestly think that something should be done about it, but oh, of course not. But that's just how it goes, apparently. Anyway, so now that I've rambled on about that, well, see, I did say we'd talk about that. We would talk about that for a little bit. So, anyway, I apologize again that I cannot actually show the cardboard thing behind me due to what it actually is. Would actually probably get me in trouble with YouTube, unfortunately. So therefore, unfortunately, I cannot show it. I apologize for that. But that's okay. Anyway. So, also just be sure to watch episode 1, 2, 3, and 4 to catch up on anything you missed. Also be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Of course, you do have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. I would suggest all of them. Also be sure to subscribe and hit the red notification bell button. Also be sure to like, share, and comment. Because by doing that, all those lovely little things, it shows YouTube's algorithm that you actually like the videos, and it'll push the content to more people, to more viewers. Anyway. So, it's just honestly really hard to believe that all these things have happened. And now here's something, even though I know I have said this, I have a question, which I will answer. So, why is it that people think that I lie about the story that I'm actually telling when I'm not? It's actually because they don't believe in it. That's probably why. And I don't know why they would think that I'm a liar when I'm not. If they think I'm a liar, then what an imbecile. Honestly. Like I said, before you do hit that subscribe button, make sure you read the disclaimer first before you hit subscribe. Anyway. I probably didn't tell majority of you about the comment that I had got to where someone thought I was having an attitude when I wasn't. Yeah, that's another thing. No, I was not having an attitude. What had happened was I had a fan running in the back. A fan was running in the background. That's why I was being loud. So the mic didn't actually pick up the noise from that fan that was running in the background. That's what actually ended up happening with that. But obviously someone took it the wrong way and thought that I was having an attitude when I wasn't. That was a whole nother issue that really made me mad. I said to myself, oh, good Lord, you've got to be kidding me. Attitude? Where do you see an attitude? What I'd like to know. Oh, and then the person suddenly tried changing their tune after and saying, oh, okay. And then I thought to myself, you know what? Next time, don't assume that I have an attitude when I don't. And therefore, there wouldn't be a problem now, would there? But, you know, it's just interesting that this is what people think, that I have an attitude problem when I don't. Really? Are you kidding me? That's the last thing people need to be thinking. All right, so I will actually see you all in the next I will see you all in the next podcast for episode 6. Bye. And the silent guest is also saying bye. Okay, goodbye.